Welcome to Colorado Netrunner. I'm Luke,
And I'm Brian.
and today we are joined by Nick. How you doing, Nick?
What's up? I'm doing good.
Awesome. So we got you here on the right. Looks like you're playing Andromeda, and we got Tobin on the left playing NBN. Have you played this deck before?
Yeah, we'd actually played each other in Swiss, so I knew what was up. He's playing like a mid-season scorched earth type of deck.
Ah, those shenanigans.
Shenanigans indeed. I played against Tobin's deck as well, and just those passive trace credits there are terrifying because you know they're waiting to power mid seasons.
Yeah, he's a huge fan of these types of decks, so that's me flashing my excellent hand there of Desperado 3 Dirty Laundry. Which,
That's a hell of a first hand.
well, you're about to see it gets very bad very quickly.
I mean, that's the question. Do you even run against NBN? Get the tag storm right on turn one.
I mean, I think running archives is fine because you're going to be so rich after the Desperado Dirty Laundry credits. But that doesn't happen this game.
You can't outrich Tobin. Maybe you can. I don't know. I was not fortunate enough to play him. Ah.
He said Dirty Laundry right there.
Oh, no.
Oh, of course he did. Oh,
Yeah, so none of those Dirty Laundries get played, and I think I have no other money in my hand right now.
that's tragic.
So my hubris is deservedly punished, I think, here.
Targeted marketing at the right time. If you know the deck well enough, the deck archetype can just shut everything down.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially if you played them in a previous round.
Yeah, that's definitely a good call by Tobin. He's super far ahead now.
Yeah, oh yeah. So checking R&D, don't see anything. That is a risky move, given that if you steal an agenda, it might backfire.
Yeah, I mean, my hope here is to snag an agenda so the targeted marketing goes away. Then I can play the Dirty Laundries in my hand. Because right now they're just dead cards.
That makes a lot of sense.
You're not running those fantastic criminal currents.
Yeah.
I think traffic jam is the closest thing to a criminal current.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I can't think of very many ways that the criminal currents can be useful yet. Not saying they never will be, but just yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you want currents in criminal, I think you just have to pay influence.
Yeah, or flash traffic jam now, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
So we got Earthrise going down, Dirty Laundry's in the bin, got a fresh remote. At least he didn't get a free card off of that one.
True.
So used to that. So checking again.
Yeah, it is a little bit different playing a non-NEH NBN.
True.
It's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it really slows the game down a lot, so you can take a lot more time to set up.
So the fact that R&D is still open might be a signal that he's got the mid-seasons in hand, that he's just tempting you to come in and take an agenda.
Yeah. Again, it's kind of a calculated risk here. I have 2 dead cards in my hand that I really wish I could use, so...
That makes sense. Well, if you can do a sudden burst econ that he doesn't expect, that can save you from the mid-seasons potentially. Building up the rig here.
Just discard them out of hand, it looks like.
Yep, those are Dirty Laundry 2 and 3. They're out of there.
Yeah, probably the right call.
Yep. Yeah, I think I see mid-seasons off the top on either that access or if I access this turn, so I'm pretty much, yeah. I've given up on on getting getting money quickly here. I don't blame Tobin for gloating here. That's a pretty good play by him.
10 credits is better than 30 credits, though, so...
Yeah.
I don't get a credit out of it, but it works. Yeah. That was awesome.
Checking again.
You get a credit?
Checking a remote, and we got a Sansan. Not trashing it. Doesn't look like you've got the money.
No, I have $2 right now, so...
And they're all 3 in there, so this isn't ever going to fire. Yeah.
If he starts just scoring out agendas, there's not very much I can do right now.
That's true. So we've got a fairy. It's relatively safe to face check at this point.
Though I'm not too worried about flares out of NBN.
I think Tobin might have some nonsense in this deck. I think there might be a Cortex lock, maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah, I believe it. Cortex Lock is a great splash in other factions. Very often unexpected.
Yeah.
And a sweeps week.
Now, are those yellow tokens 5s?
I think they are.
They might be 2s.
He keeps stacks of 5 in front of him, so I think the yellows are 2s, the reds are 1s, and the greens are 3.
Okay, that makes sense. NBN Tag Storm is perfectly fine to just put down agendas naked, especially if there are any PDs, and just dare you to take.
Yeah, they're sitting on all that money. They're not too worried about that.
What's really scary is when they start slow rolling a Beal, and they can just win the whole game off of a single Beal if the credit differential's high enough.
Yeah.
Okay, finally face checking. Speaking of goofy ice, what is this?
This is a TMI.
Yeah, TMIs are nice. You don't see much out of anything but making news, though.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, to have to keep re-resing that over and over again would be a pain.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was not expecting TMI there.
Yeah, like Data Raven or something, but...
Yeah.
Pop-up window, even. What's the strength on TMI? Is that 5?
I do believe it is 5, yeah.
Not too shabby.
And I think it's a 3 trace to derez when encountered.
Which is pretty miserable when you're this far behind in money. So.
Right. Even as Andy.
Yeah.
That's the tragic thing, is to have the Desperado but still be broke.
Hey, good old Parasite.
Yeah.
Whittling it down.
We're setting up for the long game here. There's no way this game is going to end quickly.
I think that's in your favor, though, too, having such a slow start because of the targeted marketing.
Yeah.
He's got the Sand, though, so he has the means to start the Astro Train if he wants, assuming he has one.
Yeah. When I played him in Swiss, none of his ice is pretty porous. You can get through it once you get set up. So he's not that hard to R&D lock once you have a bunch of money, is I think the strategy I'm going for here.
I'm trying to think of what that is that he played over the Sand. Is it the Sand is the first one in? Or the second one? Okay, now he's resin.
Yep.
So now he's installing on the Sand.
I think this is...
Astro,
Yep,
looks like? Yeah.
I think so.
It's got a token, it's an Astro, so yep.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like, even if it's not NEH, I mean, Fast Advance is real no matter what. And when you sit on so many credits like he is...
Yeah, like I'm in a really poor position here, because if I go broke, I think I know he has Midseasons in his hand at this point. So if I go broke, I can't score agendas, but if I leave the Sansan out there, he just crushes me.
Yeah, he's just going to chain off of that. Hey!
Everyone's favorite card.
Now you've got some money. Leaving Tobin with 1 credit.
That's going to make a big difference right there.
Yeah, I can't think of many others.
Biggest credit swing in the game. Now, do you float the tags here, knowing that he's probably got some sort of tag punishment, but 2 tags is not enough to do anything with psychographics?
Yeah, I think I float 1 tag here, but I think in retrospect, it's pretty risky, because I float both the tags.
I think you're safe until next turn at least.
Well, I know he has 1 Scorch in hand at this time. And if he has 2 and top deck's a sweeps week, I'm dead. Which kind of sucks.
We're shut down. There goes the Yogg. And a tutor. Ouch.
Yeah. I do have clone chip in play, so this isn't the worst.
Yeah, Yogg's not the worst. I think losing the sure gamble there might have been harder than most of the other things.
Yeah.
Because even with that siphon, your money's still hurting a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically I have to spend next turn clearing tags.
On the other hand, you now get paid in order to check R&D for free.
Yes, that's always a plus.
Yep.
And we got sec testing coming down. He's not going to be able to deny you security testing targets.
Doesn't look like has many ice in hand there, from what I can maybe glean. That could be coming dangerous for him.
Yeah, the Parasite does a lot of work this game. He doesn't have enough ice to really keep me out at this point.
So clicking for 3. Finally got the economy going.
Security testing is a huge boon.
And a free data sucker to boot.
Yeah, which I think you missed this turn, maybe not.
I'm not running this turn. I think I'm just drawing up. Oh, there we go.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah, that Scorch was a big tempo hit. Interesting to see that he played it even though he didn't have the kill.
Well, I mean, if you're keeping stuff in hand specifically, I mean, there goes another Astro.
The train continues. But he's down to 2 credits.
Yep. So I'm pretty far behind at this point, but he spent his giant credit lead, taking a bunch of cards and scoring out, and so I've managed to stabilize at this point, I think.
I think so. I think you definitely have the better board state even though he has 2 Astros.
Yeah. And I think that's a pop-up in front of R&D, if I remember right. I'm not sure why he hasn't rezzed it yet.
Yeah, that would be surprising.
Yeah, it'd be hard to say. Like, I mean, the bluff isn't worth that 1 credit every time at this point for him.
Or it might be something else.
It could be a wraparound. I wouldn't bother rezzing a wraparound at this point against your corroder.
Okay, legwork. Perfectly timed.
And he has no money to mid-seasons that, too.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a risky play on his part, scoring out the Astro, but I don't blame him.
Well, it's better than having it grabbed from hand.
Yeah, exactly. The targeted marketing is gone, but too little too late. Dirty laundries are already out of the picture.
Yeah. It already did its work.
So he finally drew some ice. I think that might be a wall of static. At least taxi a little bit. Clicking for some credits. To get back into mid-seasons, or at least to the point that he can score out another Astro if he top decks it.
Right? And yeah, sometimes you gotta.
Okay, whiffing on R&D, but keeping up the lock.
Well, and even if the whiff, it's 1 credit.
That's true. Paid to access.
Against a baby.
That has got to be my favorite new card. There's very few decks that do not benefit from having that card.
Yeah, I recently put one in a wizard deck that I'm working on, and I've really liked it.
No, it's quite good in pretty much every deck, I think, if you can find room for it.
Yeah, any deck that wants money and wants to draw cards.
Which is every deck, so...
And even out of Shaper, it's often worth doing over professional contacts, unless you're doing a deck that just really digs hard the whole game. Not having that tempo hit of 5 credits up front changes the value a lot.
Man, just whiffing on those R&D accesses.
Yeah, but that's not bad for me, I don't think here, because if I'm not seeing agendas, he's not seeing agendas, and I can just play this super long grindy game really well now. Like any good ice, I can parasite and instantly kill.
Hey, it's another one. And what is the other thing?
Yikes!
Oh, ouch.
It's a snare.
Don't need it. Kind of nice, and I don't need it really.
Yeah, I'm pretty set up here. I'm not worried about losing the tutors.
Fem is always kind of nice, but like you said, his ice is pretty porous. It doesn't seem like there's that much that is that scary.
One with a clone chip on the board, being able to pull the Fem out in an emergency is not bad.
It's interesting that you didn't... Why didn't you trash the snare there? Oh, okay, never mind.
I was thinking you can keep security testing off of it if he ices archives.
True.
I mean, he just installs Jackson over it.
Like, if I was him, I would just install my next Sansan over it, though. And be like,
I guess
hey,
that's...
free protection again.
Yeah. I mean, like, that's super expensive, though, right? 4 credits is a lot for him right now.
True.
You know, that's one thing I don't consider enough when I'm nervous to check remotes because I think there might be a snare. is that even if I hit the snare, it's a big econ hit for the corp.
Yeah, but it's a big hit for you too, because it's also the run that you spent going for it, the 3 cards that you lost, and then the tag and the click and 2 credits to remove it. It's depending on situation. I think it's kind of a wash. I think right now, and it was definitely Nick's favor because Tobin's economy is really dragging.
I think that's true. That is a lot of data sucker tokens.
That's why I always, or not always, usually splash one of the new Cyberdex virus suites.
Yeah, the Cyberdex virus suite is quite good against me here.
Yeah, I think any data sucker heavy build, I think it's pretty good against.
Security testing saves you a little bit, but it's still rough.
Well, the great thing about upgrades is that you can put them anywhere and bluff them as almost anything, and so it's unique in that it's not a dead card even against the deck with no viruses. It can be an Ash, it can be a Sansan, it can be a Chrysium, it's whatever the runner thinks it is.
Yeah, and you can use it, like, you can protect yourself in...
Hey, it is the pop-up.
There's the pop-up window.
Hey, I don't know why they didn't res that. I mean, he just must have been trying for the bluff.
I think he installed over it. Maybe it's that Draco that's in the trash.
Yeah, that could be that Draco.
That's got to be it. I want to like Draco, but there's enough runners with one link that it barely does anything.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, out of making news, not that bad, because that Trace 2 is actually a Trace 4.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But in most cases, I mean, it's tough.
I really wish I would draw one of... I know it's asking a lot, but I have 2 copies.
Tobin is slowly clicking his credits back up.
Yeah, and he ends up making a lot of money off this pop-up window, too.
There might be a reason I don't play NBN, is I'm not brave enough to just sit there making money off a pop-up while the runner walks in.
You got to make the awesome errand boy pop-up server.
Exactly.
That's a hell of a paywall. Actually, that's a different card.
We got an RDI coming down.
Yeah, this is pretty good for me here.
Yeah, I'd be scared if I were Tobin.
Yeah, he's pretty much locked out at this point.
Well, odds are so good that you can either trash one or score one that you can walk back in and see a fresh card. Although it looks like not in this case.
Yeah, and I mean, accesses are free right now because of the Desperados, so...
If you're willing to pull out the Yogg, it could actually be even freer.
As long as you get five runs out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm keeping the clone chip here because I'm afraid of Data Raven.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. It threatens the Parasite better than it threatens the Yogg.
Like, I'm so far ahead on money right now, I don't care if he's going up a credit every run.
Yeah, he can be rich as long as you're rich, too.
Yeah, as long as you're richer.
Pretty sure there's a second pop-up window he just installed.
Interesting to see if he pops the Jackson just to deny you security testing. Looks like I'm making a real run. Oh no, you're hitting R&D again. And there's the other pop-up. And you're actually out of virus counters and have to move on to power counters.
Yeah.
You got excited about something.
That was an almost cartoonish dance of joy.
I'll give you a hint what this card is.
Cyberdex. Oh. Oh, ouch.
Speak of the devil.
Tobin apparently also likes to build good decks. Funny that.
Oh, yeah.
That's the second time that's triggered it.
Now, if you hit one of those with a big medium dig, it doesn't change how many you access that turn.
Not that turn, now. Because, yeah, the number is already set in at the beginning of access.
Because I'm tempted to actually go up to 2 Cyberdexes just to, on those huge digs, to at least clear out viruses, even if the damage is already done for that access.
Purges virus counters after the data sucker gets on there. NAPD.
So checking archives, and it looks like he's letting you see the NAPD.
Well, you may as well check archives now since all your stuff was wiped, so...
Yeah, he has the Jackson, so he could have prevented me from stealing NAPD here. And in fact, I may not steal it here.
It doesn't look like you even want it, so...
Yeah, in your shoes, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, you need to keep credits up, I think.
Yeah.
And it's always going to be there. Well, not always, but...
Well, he's not scoring it either is the thing.
Yeah.
So even if it goes back in the deck, I guess I do take it.
And then yeah, I wouldn't waste Jackson where I am either.
Now, the Cyberdex does deny you your free data suckers. Although actually, if you security test archives, because you don't access cards, I think you would still get the data sucker.
That's true.
That is true. Yeah, here I'm just trying to keep him off money from mid-season scorching me out.
Wise decision.
Yeah, it's a pretty big credit differential. I think you're probably safe.
Draw 2. Cards. 5.
I imagine you only took the NAPD because you knew the siphon.
Oh, not anymore.
The closed accounts is pretty good here.
Can't pop the mid-seasons, but he can still deny you all that money.
It resets down to 0 and it stops those R&D accesses too.
Yep. Thankfully, my engine's going at this point, so I can just take money and clear tags this turn.
Yeah, first click for 3, so.
And it's painful when you take the tags and also have no money to clear them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what was I rocking? I was rocking closed accounts in my one of my Whalen decks recently. I would do closed accounts and snatch and grab.
That's delightfully evil. I love it.
Draw 2.
Jackson drawing.
Install.
Yep, he's just digging for agendas here while I'm trying to recover.
Now while you're locked out a little bit.
So I'm not going to discard that.
Yeah, well, he knows once I've recovered a little bit, he's not going to be drawing agendas again, so.
And I'm done. First action draw. Second action, I'll security test. Oh, yeah. You can use Jackson. I can use Jackson before it's successful.
So here I'm giving him an opportunity to pop Jackson to deny me the 3 credits.
No, I won't. Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I think that's a great trade-off of, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I don't really want to find out what's on archives. So I'm hoping he'll actually just save me the effort of needing to run Jackson for real. Looks like that's not happening here.
Install.
All right, another install.
Advance twice.
Nope, and another Astro.
This might be a deal.
Not the Beal. Doesn't matter because it's game point.
It is.
So coming up here, hopefully he doesn't have a making news anywheres. Or a breaking news.
That might signal that he's got one in hand.
Or a fast track in hand too is a possibility. No, actually he used his Astro token though, so.
Exactly. So he can't fast track in one turn unless he's got a biotic or something.
And he can't bluff an agenda naked because there's no reason not to check it.
Yeah, he gets paid to check at this point.
I was way too greedy this one. First action, I'll check your deck. Take 2 get out. Score. Oh my gosh.
Hey, look at that.
Wow. Don't see that one often.
Nope.
Trashing the Jackson, which means you can go in for 2 fresh accesses, and you are now also on game point.
Yep. I want to get his other Jackson out there first, though.
I think that makes sense.
He's obviously going to take a Jackson back.
This may have been a mistake. I maybe should have checked R&D first. I'm not entirely sure.
That's always a tricky one. It's nice if you can hit R&D, force the shuffle, hit R&D again. But that's a lot of money, a lot of clicks. Can't always pull it off.
And right
That's
now,
why we need Yogg.
Yeah, given that Tobin's running Scorches, he doesn't have the influence for Biotic. He pretty much needs to top deck a Breaking News, which is not going to happen as long as you're hitting R&D every turn.
I actually considered, I think it was any gauge actually, but running 1 Biotic and 2 Scorches. Just to leave a little bit more fast advance open and just leave the 2 Scorches for hold them in hand in case. Because I never really want to see 3 Scorches sitting in hand. Or rarely.
I think that makes sense. An early biotic means you start the Astro Train. A late biotic means you close the game. So one is often enough.
And there's the breaking news.
Boom.
Hooray! That's awesome.
So he can't score out of hand now. Not without a Sansan or some other kind of trickery. So closing those final points is going to be pretty tough for Tobin here.
Keeping those tags off was key to that. So you can't psychographics anything out.
Yeah, if I were Tobin, I'd be a little worried that this is my last turn here. So with an RDI on the board and a porous R&D, not really a lot of options.
No wonder that's a third Sansan.
It might be. I could even see an NAPD here to try to pull the mid-season's last minute anyway.
Tobin does have a fair amount of money now.
Or I'm on 6 points here, though, so Midseasons is a dead card right now.
Oh, good point.
Third action, I'll run. Third? Okay, access, I'll see it. Yep.
Oh, and a snare again.
There's the snare.
The Count's Siphon kind of hurts.
Yeah, those are all good cards.
Yeah, those are all cards I'd like to see.
And you're leaving it, which I agree with.
Yep, again, I don't want to mess around with whatever that ice is on archives.
Yeah, I've lost more than one game to a criminal by leaving them a target for security testing.
Yeah.
So here we go. Checking R&D again.
That's game.
Boom. Very well done. Came back from a double Astro. Kept your cool, kept that pressure up, built your board state. Very well done, sir.
Yep. I mean, Tobin had I'd get a little lucky there sniping that the 2-1 out of his hand. I only had 2 shots to get it, so.
Well, thank you for joining us. I'm Luke.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Nick.
And we'll see you in cyberspace.
Tagline.